Good afternoon. Sabkamara Namaskar. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Session to this intermediate training session. Sorry for the little delay due to net problem. So I will continue with the discussion of few classic games of Ulf Anderson to improve your technical feeling and understanding, and then some practical end games and some few simple end game studies. Hello, Madhav Chess, Suresh Bhai Chawda, Simran Razai, Bhakti Razai, Keshav Saha, Parth Singh Jhala, Akshar Jhala, Parva Thakkar, Ramakrishna, Birabhadra Singh, and Devang Makwan. All are welcome. First, I present you a very interesting study. It's a very interesting study. How can White win this game? This is really entertaining also. It is not only interesting, it is very entertaining. Now, how are you going to win? Presuming you win the pawn. Then what next? You come all the way, you win the pawn. Then what are you going to do? You come to e8, nothing. You come, he will just make. Even now, suppose it is on you win the pawn and come to d8, he will play king h8. You cannot take it. So what is the winning plan? So what is the winning plan? Find out. Very interesting and entertaining. Tanmay Asmara, hello Niranjan, good afternoon. So I am presenting to a very entertaining study. It is really entertaining. Obviously, white will catch the pawn. White will take the pawn. Then what next? There is no breakthrough. Basically, after taking the pawn, you come all the way e8. Suppose it is black to play king 8. You take it as stalemate. That means you have to take the pawn and come back and to win this pawn for pawn break. That means you take and come all the way, and then once again, you see, I will go quickly because it is not wasting your time. And now I return. Now take the pawn. Now what are you going to do? How it is going to help? The point is, now you will have to put him into Zugzwan. And then force. Now the point is, there is no plan. You just come here, he will keep moving a8, b8. That means we need to force the pawn to b4. We need to force him. So once again we make a journey again back again. And now he has to push because on king coming anyway king c7, king into bishop, and then you have a pawn move. You have a pawn move. So he will push. Now return all the way. Return again to c4. And now go again to d8. Now b4 and then break. So it is really interesting. Simple, when you take b4, he won't play b4. We go till d8, play b4, come back and b4, and yeah. Hello Situ Nandi. So the whole point is your king makes a tourism all around the board 3-4 times. 74th move. 74th move, now he will win. Now this is now you have to make a break. So you have to only move. Now you come back again to grab the pawn. Again you come back to grab the pawn. Now again you return all the way. And now b5 and 10 pawns. Winning. Now just king into is just finish. Finish. So you have to take or push whatever, it will lead to checkmate. So this is just interesting. There is even here I mean in this pawn into Now you can take this. Now pawn into you can take this also win, but there is no need. There is no need. Simple pawn push. Now king into wins because no need to waste time further. So he has to make king up and down 3 4 times. Okay, all right. Virabhadra Singh is the correct answer. Okay, okay. Nice king tour. All right, let's go to the next one. Game by Wolf Anderson, playing with Lazarus Portis. Normally, c4, e5, white is little better. English opening, there are three choices. One is e5, which is reverse Sicilian, and this is symmetrical. Symmetrical is the best. This is the best. I mean, very difficult for white to prove an advantage. White has to play a long struggle. The other one, knight f6, is very flexible. It can go to King's Indian, Grunfeld, Nimzo Indian, or any kind of Indian defense. So this is a flexible thing. So c4, e5 is commonly played. And player with king pawn, they like this one. I would say c5 is better, more solid. Okay, never mind. Now knight c3, black can play bb4 or knight f6 and bb4 or reverse Sicilian. So this is an interesting idea. Now this is okay. Black wants to build a center because if he is allowed a center, then he will play d5 and then e4 also. So you need to act immediately. Knight c3 is not best. So you need to break. Now the point is pawn into pawn, queen takes pawn. He cannot attack your queen. Cannot attack. This is the drawback of c6. Now white is better. A technically better game. Black taking isolony, normally one has to be very careful. White gets isolony, he gets active play, development is better. But black getting isolony, there is problem. So here knight f3. White is little better. Now bg5. Direct pressure on the pawn. And if you play d4, knight e4, as in Karpov Chandler, so white gets a transpose to sort of Taras game and white stands better. So on d4, you can play knight d5 also, knight d5 followed by nd2, or you can play any 4. Anyway, white better. Comes knight e1. He is circ. He wants to go after the d5 pawn. Knight f4 and white stands better. The point is, isolated pawn is not a crime, but one has to have active play in return for the weakness. As and when the pieces get exchanged, the pawn becomes worse and worse and more. So now four minor pieces are out of the board. So where is the active play is coming? Now black tries to solve the problem so that this pawn is defended by rook queen, and this is a lot of backward pawns for counter play. How should white play now? Hello Punit sir. How should white play? The position is white is little better, not much, little better. But the art of playing a position. Hello Ramakrishna. No radical decision. No radical. Rook c5. Now bishop into a80, he will get a counter play. White will get play now. C6 is attacked 3 times. Now bishop into gets an better game. Definitely better game. The all white pieces will be active after that. Not good. So This is a little better position for white. So he did not take the pawn. After rook c5, he played queen e7. Okay, so this is worse. Actually, bishop into pawn is one only plus equal, but now it will be plus minus. Knight into forced b3. Now I have told you in one of my class earlier, one lecture, that rook and bishop is a strong pair against rook and knight when pawns are on both wings. That means white should offer queen exchange at right time at right place. If there is a possibility, if queens are off the board, this is simply better for white. Now, if you want some 7 8 very good examples, I recommend you to read the book by Dr. Max Ewing, former world champion Max Ewing. Is the title of the book, Bobby Fischer and His Predecessors. In that book, Max Ewing devotes one chapter, maybe 10, 12 pages, 15 pages, only on this topic, rook and bishop versus rook and knight in the end game. And Fischer did great in his match in Taimano with Taimano, a fantastic game. That queen exchange, then rook exchange, and rook versus bishop, rook bishop, rook knight, rook exchange, then bishop versus knight, and winning the game. So already white is aiming that black has extra pawn weakness and white has superior piece. The white square bishop is long range diagonal. Fantastic position. Okay. Now other rook will come to activate. The pressure. Immediate threat bishop takes knight. So as I told you, the queen exchange is welcome for white. Because once queens exchange, rook and bishop endgame will come versus rook and knight. Now, black should play exchange the queen because at least the pawn is doubled. Black should now exchange the queen and try his luck. But he played the inferior one. Then the initiative is very strong. Now if you exchange queen, it is black has gained, white has gained a tempo. You will play now queen exchange, then a3, then bd3, rook double, and b4, and a clear initiative. So now exchange queen is not good because if you have to exchange doubling pawn. This is just bad. Now a3, b4 will come. In position, lot of pawn weaknesses. In the hand of a technician, these positions are lost only. I would say if you give the position to Stanislav, Korchnoi, or Petrosian, or Baganian, they will all play technically fine moves. Rubinstein. So these positions actually for a normal player it will look droids. And if one rook is exchanged, that is even worse. Because with two rooks, black can create sometimes some mating threat or perpetual. So even two rooks. Now the pawn on c6 attacked. So he tries to, but the trading is good for white. This trading is very good. No problem. Check. And now another pawn falls. So this is just hopeless. So what I mean to say, a player should be very much careful about pawn structure, and you should be aware of the theme that a player innocently, I mean not experienced player, they simply don't understand where is the advantage. The advantage was rook and bishop versus rook and knight with a long range bishop, and then further pawn weaknesses. So we need to keep a track of the position. For example, okay, I will just go to the point here. Yeah, here you don't have to play pawn into pawn. I mean, this is okay because pawn into and then this ending is hardly cheerful for white. इसमें कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. You won't get much. This ending is not really much life for white. So this you could have tried. Okay, I saw. Suppose you do not play d4 and you play now knight, then this is a problem. d5 will come. Now take d4. Now e4 will come, and white will seize the initiative. That is why white should be very careful about it. So he cannot allow all that thing. So after c6, now He has to play d4. White has to play d4. You can't allow a position like e4. This is fantastic. That's the reason d4. And another advantage, normally a centralized queen is very good when it cannot be attacked. For example, I will give you, for example, maybe here, I can give you e4 c5, knight f3 d6. Now bb5 check. Now, in D7, many times, some players don't like exchanges because they think it is draws. After bishop exchange, now bishop into bishop, queen into c4. The position, it is not great. Of course, this is a bad move. If you play, I will castle and queen takes pawn d4. White is better. But why you will go queen g4? He will go simply development after c4. After nc6, I don't think any advantage remains. I don't think anything great. So BB5 check, some players don't like this exchange and draw. They want to win. So Gary Kasparov, for instance, he likes this, but there is a drawback of this system, this move. That now after D4, I can take queen into D4. Now imagine the knight is here, I can attack. Now who is going to attack my centralized queen? These are the things a player should take into account when you play ND7. For example, suppose you play d4 cd and now and f3 d6. Suppose now d4 takes, now takes queen d4. Sorry, queen d4. You are not going to make a move like this. This makes absolutely stupid. So now if you see compared to this position, I have queen on d4 and now no, not this one, not this, not this. Where is this? Ah, in d7. Now I have queen on d4. Now, if you play queen check, you are not really achieving. Queen check, knight there. No. Knight f6. So this is not coming. This is a different variation. So white is better here, little better. So that is why that queen d4 is good one here. You cannot attack the queen. That is one strong point. So this is little better. I saw a game. White was Grandmaster. No, White was I.M. Burgess Kosi, and Black was Michael Krasenko in Mayor Cup Mumbai, maybe 2008 or something. So he had a good, excellent game with Black because Kosi did not play d4. Now I think he did not play d4 here, and he got a very easy game. Some d3 or nc3, he got a very free game. So these are the opening thing you have to bear in mind when you are playing either side of mostly young players play c4 e5. They do not like c4 c5. They want open position and attack. But if you want to play, you better be careful of this kind of line. So I would recommend that c4 e5. If somebody plays nc3, where is this? C4 e5 nc3. I recommended you bb4. In my some report now nd5. Now bishop here is a complicated thing. Now this is a little complicated because after the move bishop is unstrained. So I recommend here to go bishop e7. Bishop e7. Now you play g3, whatever, c6 will come and take. You can take with the knight, take with the queen. And now next knight f6 castle. Excellent position. All right. Going to the next. Hello Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna says what was Fisher style. Fisher style, all rounder. Anand, Fisher, they are all rounders. I mean, they are ready to play at any area of the game. Both are very good in opening. Both of them have contributed a lot to opening and very good in attack, very good in seeing combination, and also very stubborn fighters. So Anand and Fisher, they have a very common style and good, and both are active. And no wonder Fisher got many Oscar awards. He got three because he stopped playing. But if he continued playing, he might have got 10 Oscars. So Fisher got 3 Oscar awards. Anand got 4 or 5. I guess 4 or 5 Oscar awards. And Kasparov got 8. I don't know how many Carlson has got. I don't know. White has advantage after BB7. Barakji bind without bad bishop is slight as for white. Yeah, yeah, I do agree. So, so a symmetrical English. This is line is little inferior for black. I mean, former world champion Anatoly Karpov used this line few occasions. The point why it is inferior that ultimately black has to lose some time by knight moving the knight or even if knight c3. So now this is the problem. Black has to lose some time. Even if you play here, you have c4, c5, and now c4, one answer c4. Now c5. Okay, I will show you another line. Here he loses time. Pawn into pawn is bad move. White is little better. You can't play pawn into pawn, knight into d4 coming. Now this is not good one. This is coming. You can't take that. This is bad. So this is bad move. That means why? Because of loss of time. Okay, this is inferior. Even this line, for example, here, let us say c4, c5. Now in c3, knight f6. And now you play knight f3. Now this is also inferior. Pawn into, knight into, and now g3. Now you have to do something with the knight. You have to retreat. Taking the knight, there is this, you lost 3 moves and center. Here, black has made knight 3 moves, knight f6 and d5 knight. And white center is good. So this is definitely white is better. And other variation, supposing here you play a move like let us say knight into pawn e4, e4, knight into pawn into, and now g6. So here knight e5, setting a trap. Now bishop here, now bishop check. I don't know how I got get into the trap. I would say I would say the game white was. I must set to the trap first. That is important. Now c4, c5, or in c3. Find out. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Not this. This. Okay, maybe. For a particular game. No. White was white was Samkovic. I'm unable to track. I will show that game tomorrow. I will search it. A wonderful trap is there. Okay, I will come tomorrow. I will search it. Let me not take your time now. Okay, never mind. So this particular game, we played c4 e5, c5. So loss of time. Now it is that pawn is lost, but black will lose valuable time. The bishop is not safe there. This is the point. Now white has an advantage. Where are you going to place the bishop? If you go to bishop b6, then your dark squares on e7, e6 are weak. And you go to now take now queen into. This is getting advantage. Black's guard on the king is not there. And d file plus on queen a4, queen b6, knight a4 is coming. Loss of time. This is what happened. Loss of time. White has taken initiative. Now bishop into is not good also. After bishop into, additional problem comes on the white diagonal. Suppose you take this. This is not solving the problem. Now there is a threat here, and I want to take it. Play this weak pawn. The knight cannot move. B7 is hanging. So this is also not solving. So he played bishop d4, and now bishop into bishop clear advantage for white. Similar to last game, ultimately I will collect the bishop and rook and bishop and rook and knight. This is a similar situation. Rook d2. Simply, he is threatening to play queen c5. White is threatening queen c4 or queen c5. Now, want to guard and then threatening bishop into c6 with a weakness. d4 and c6 plus. Now, the right is Tara's formula. You return, you go to a worse pawn ending, worse ending. With heavy pieces on the board, a bad ending. Take a3, bishop on knight and rook into d4. This is actually a very good prophylactic move. Bishop into. Now heavy pieces on the board, white is much better. I think I showed this game probably to you. Now queen f3 will come. Winning position. Hello, I am talking about the line e4 c5, bb5 check, bd7, bd7 c4. White is slightly better. Plus equal. The position is plus equal. It has been tried and tested many times. White remains little better in that variation. Ramakrishna. Okay. So how to this position now, and it is bad now. It is not only one extra pawn but more weaknesses for black. Plus minus. Now he can defend his weakness, and after that rook into pawn will come and pass pawn and this, so it is lost. Finish. Now it defends. Oh, central pass pawn is there, extra pass pawn with the help of king. Gradually white will improve and win. It is not about the pawn down. It is all about the passive rook. Suppose the rook was active earlier, he could do, but no activity. Black will just wait and white will keep improving from strength to strength, strength to strength. This is the point. The rook is passive, the king is inactive. So white rook is more active, one extra pawn, inactive king. This is very bad position. He tries to cut off, no problem. Two pawn up. Now, of course, suppose you come here, you will play rook d4. Now, okay, you are losing the pawn, but what about the speed? Now I push the pawn. I just need one move, thereafter rook b7. I just need this pawn here, and after that rook b7, and this is finished. I mean, after that, I will just play rook b7 and pawn a7 finish. So one move I need. So here push the pawn. Giving a check is no use. If you give a check, pawn f4. Push. Now simple. I want to just come here and it's all over. That means you have to hurry up with rook a1. Otherwise, any other thing will lose quickly. Now rook is tied down. The king is cut off. अभी क्या है? It is already pawn down. Good move. Good move. Idea. You take. I will take. Oh, sorry. Now you push. I will take. Now you take. Then this is finished. That means you cannot take it. Cannot push the pawn. Now you try to come this way. Suppose you come. Then I will play d4. अभी ये भी नहीं मिलेगा. I will play d4 so that you play rook is coming now. Now the pawn is 7th. Winning easily. You push the pawn, I am going to push. And rook here, free. The technical aspect. So here, this is just finished. Now there is no time. You play, this is no time. You play king f8, d4 wins. So basically, it is about extraordinary good technique. Okay, where is the mistake he has done? I will show you. This is one. I think this move, this variation itself is not good. This variation itself is not good. Now knight into pawn, what is happening? Knight into pawn, I can do. This is other than this move also, white has an advantage. For example, white can play LG. And now you play G6, I will play knight into, queen into, I castle. You play BG7, D3. Now you castle, I am going to play BE3. Already I am giving a threat. I don't care. I don't care for loss of the pawn. You have to move. And then queen d2. White is excellently placed. Excellently placed now. Greatly impressed by the way the Petrosian played, not allowing his opponent idea. I want to play like him. Yeah, it is playing like Petrosian is extremely difficult. You know why? Because he could see the threat, the plan of the opponent well in advance. Well in advance. So here I say that NC3, this position, he will sense all these things, attacking ideas well in advance. Even Fischer appreciated this. Fischer said Peterson was a great defender. He could see much before opponent tries for the plan. So understanding Petrosian is very difficult. But if one can play like Petrosian, he is fantastic talent. I would say. I would say it is a fantastic talent. Currently, I will come. Suppose you want me to a Petrosian, I will say among the modern players, I think there are a lot of talent. Okay, let's see. Forget about this. Let us see the game. So here, knight into it, white is better. So white is better because the queen has to move sooner or later. So here, this is the typical error is this is the one I don't. Of course, Karpov played it in his career 3 4 times, but that does not make it a clearly better move. Okay. Now, in my opinion, this is a harmless setup. Absolutely no danger to black. Bishop into knight is no problem. Now, white has got nothing out of it. That is why I say this is called a Moscow attack. This is not dangerous. If white wants to get something, he should try only against NC6. This this gives some advantage. After ND4, you can take and you can come back also. I think white stands little better. Plus equal. So Rosolimo, this is called Rosolimo. Rosolimo is okay, little better for white. But Moscow, that DB5 check, absolutely nothing, no advantage. Even Kramnik has played this line also, black. The other line is C3, C3. Want a center. Bishop F1. Now, if you play normal moves, you will play good center, clearly better. D6 is bad, so E5. The position has taken character of Royal Lopez. The pawn structure, it except the move pawn b5 has not come because if bishop was at a4, pawn b5, bishop, it is a Royal Lopez character. So we have a structure of Royal Lopez, and white is here marginally better. The reason is that bd7 move is not called for. Instead of this move, you should have got b7, you would have castled by now. So the move is one rest move, but it is a close position. So in close position, loss of time is not a very serious thing. In open position, one tempo can be too much. But it is a close nature position, so not serious. Good move. Excellently played by white. Black is trying to play like a Smyslov system. Royal up a Smyslov setup, black is trying to do. So this is a very good formula. Actually, this strategy has been adopted several times by Tal and Fisher. In Royal Lopez, they normally capture the pawn and they try to utilize the d5 square. The d5 square. I mean, this knight, normally it comes, the knight will come normally via d2. But d2 f1 e3. But here also it can come, coming like this. And after this, I can come here or come here and then come. So this is a tall Fisher strategy to take the pawn to exploit the d5 square. Now white is giving a positional threat. For example, now in the game he played rook b8. And I don't know Anderson here why he did not play f5. Why f5 is not good? No, not good now. Because he can attack. On knight b6 he can play knight into pawn. The whole point is knight b6 he can play knight into pawn or I can play like queen exchange. So, so here RB8 he played B4. White is better. Better because better center, space and especially he has got more active pieces. How would you now continue the game? Okay, now what would you play? So Magnus Carlsen, he plays with knight and 6 pawn, knight and 6 pawn. So just simply he's just pushing a technical position. So opening he is not counting. Magnus Carlsen is, just plays some any type of hand game. Equal endings he wins. Okay, now what should White do? Find out about it. I want you to participate. I should not only discuss, I want your participation. Ramakrishna, if you analyze a lot of Petrosian's game in great detail, your positional sense will improve. But it is still a long way because there are not many Petrosian in this world till today. So your game will definitely improve to a great extent. But it is not sure that you can play like Petrosian. No, 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 not b5, not b5. Madhav chess b3. No, 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 no. b5, b5 good move. b5 good move. Knight check good move. Now I want to stop castle. Knight check good move. b5 good move. But he plays knight check. What would you do? How to handle this position? Hello, Maurya Patel. How are you? So he has given a check, and now I should maintain the pressure. But how? Productive class will start only when the corona problem, when the government will allow public activity, social get together, only then. Government cannot allow now. So it is not possible to start productive now. At least it will take 3 4 months. Who says Ramakrishna b5? Bishop a3. Overwhelming position. b5 is interesting. b5 is interesting because he can play knight b4 and then try to cover up with pawn. He will try. So direct bishop a3. Now queen into I can change and play b5. So queen d6 is not good. The only move take plus minus. The king will not get shelter. The king has to go d7. Then both rooks will attack. That is why this is the more perfect move order after the move, lovely move, bishop e3. So only move. Make a room for king. There is nothing. The only move. But then knight into b7. Only move. Check. King f6 only move. Or knight b4 takes. So king f6 only move. How would you play now? How should you play? White to play now. Of course, you take the knight first. You take the knight. You will take. Now, how should white play? Yes. What did you do? Productive class will start only after the government gives permission, maybe 3 4 months. Okay. No, what is the suggestion? अभी तक कोई बताया नहीं. हाँ? No, no, no. I will tell you, my friends, a player should focus all the time, especially in sharp position, captures and checks. Captures and checks. Now, this is finished 1 2. The game is finished in 1 2 moves. Knight into e5. Now, queen into queen check is finished. Over. Over and out. You take, 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 bishop check. गणपत हो गया. Center of the board. So this is knight into e5 finish. Finish. Yeah, you take with the king. That is also ridiculous. Okay. So take with the king, queen. So knight into e5 resign. So all the problems comes by this opening, this sort of thing. Normally, see, Carlson plays and wins, but there is nothing to wrong opening. Opening, you have nothing. All right, all right. I go to the next one. Yeah, Queen C1, all interesting, but that knight into e5 was game finished. Now, this players of same style. Now, Wolf Anderson, Yasser Sarawan, both are positional players, contemporary. Both have great achievements. Both are legendary grandmasters. So he goes for the hedgehog setup. This is okay. The position, it is fully playable, no problem. Now, this is this is I think the position is perfectly okay for black. Absolutely no problem. Maybe here in this position, it takes. Now bf3 is interesting. This is interesting. Idea rook will come to a7, and you must have seen that game Anderson Christiansen. I have discussed that Anderson Christiansen game. So this is okay. But he played in the game, he stuck back. Now gives the knight. So it was better to take the f3 knight. Okay. White is better because a passive piece. And this is active on the square. Okay. The idea of the move is to bring the queen, and you want to be group the activity. You want to provoke the pawn. So you place rook c5, a4, queen. Okay. How should white play? You need to find a plan. You need to find one plan. What would you do now? Find a plan. Yes, sir. Saran is very good commenter. He has a lot of stories. He was great player, great positional player. He has written some excellent books also for starting players, intermediate level. Excellent books. Understanding. So, did you somebody find a plan? Okay, I give a hint. Now you are having an advantage of color complex. White has an advantage of color complex. So white is 1, 2, 1, 2 are watching this square. That means if I can manage this one, then it is devastating. But I cannot do it now. So we can prepare for that plan. That is what he does. That is what Anderson is planning. So how does he do that? First he brings rook. Why rook here? Because I want to bring a rook on the C line. I want a rook here. Then I want the queen over here. And after that, I can advance c4, c5. Okay, this is the point. Rook. So next job, I want to play queen a2 and play b4. Preparing, he wants to prepare move like e5 at some point, but that doesn't matter. So here, queen a2. Now b4 and now b5. So he sees the plan square 1, 2, 3. So he has taken control of this. And outpost. All of you understand? I believe all of you know what is outpost. The advantage of an outpost, advantage of color complex, and space. White is on top now. If you exchange it, it is terrible. Suppose you exchange knight into knight, I will play with pawn into. Then in this case, this is worse. Ready-made target for me. Or my rook will come, my queen will come, rook will come, other rook will come. So you cannot really defend. So that is why he cannot exchange that. So he plays knight. And then he wants to play c5. Now the rook is down the job. Now rook is doing nothing. Return. Plus minus. Normally, a player gets an advantage when you establish a piece on the center. If you establish a piece, any of these squares, for white, normally for white these squares, and for black these squares. And this is central square. You establish, you get an excellent advantage. Then, if you establish a piece near the center, that is called, uh, I would say center, extended center. So I would say, what is that? Outer center, outer center. Now, outer center. Now he has established a place on the outer center. So this is also very good position. If you establish center, it is good. Outer center also very good. Excellent move. Now the point is, you have got advantage. What next now? How to improve? The improvement is the fantastic move. The idea you will play the bishop here and then the king here. Excellent. And then start advancing on this line. Now, lot of black squares I have covered. So bishop has no role to play. Next job, I will bring bishop f3, kg2. square to square, improving inch by inch, square to square. Or whatever it is bad. Whether you play or not, next anyway is going to come. Just plan of playing now rook h1 and h5. You can play pawn h5 and rook h1. You can play e4, e5. Whatever you do, it is plus minus. Plus. Now you have got a big advantage. You now the new outpost is d5. It should be winning very quickly. And if you play knight into bishop, good knight, bad bishop. New outpost. Pressure. Queen will do what? Queen will come to e to d5. How should you play now? Now he wants to play some knight move. What will you do? He is preparing knight. You need very simple moves here to do. All black's pressure is he is counting only on these squares. He is counting these squares. So just come. Now, apart from my cover up, I am giving he is giving additional threat. Additional threat. Idea the knight e6 check. So he has covered up the f line and now new threat is coming. So where are you going? Run. Finish. Rook check is coming. That is the end of the game. Rook a7 check. Now bishop d5, he should resign now. Because he will exchange down or get mated soon. Check. Now if you go queen is lost. Rook check. Rook f7 is coming. And if you go some knight check, so rook into knight is forced. I don't think you need to see further. This intermediary move also wins. So excellent game by Anderson because he is playing like square to square, pawn for pawn. So I appreciated the idea here. Very nice. For example, the very first positional idea here, he played a4 and now seizing a square, queen b1 with the idea I want to bring a rook will come, then queen will come and preparing for the break. Rook c2, queen a2. This is not good because your d4 knight needs protection. Your d4 knight needs protection against the bishop. So here's queen b1, rook, queen, and now b4, b5. Now simply he is preparing b4, b5, and with a fantastic outpost. Zabardast. So first plan was good, and after that I like this. I like this plan. Now another plan, f4. With the idea bf3, king g2. Really, these are actually one should notice all this. But provided you are a positional player, you will appreciate this. Normally, the player with the king pawn player, the open game, they will think it is not doing really anything. But maximum improvement of your pieces, and opponent has a black square, you stay in white squares. Like king is now king in white square. There is no check will come. So when you put your places in white, the bishop will do no role. No role. Courtesy Dorfman, Method in Chess. Lassie Dorfman has fantastic book. I learned so many things from that book, Dorfman's book. Yeah. Next. Next is Nigel Weishaupt. Nigel Short was a great player, but he was good with white only. He was good with attack. Always e4, he was really doing good. Black That is the main problem. But in this game, he played good with black also. So harmless position. This position is harmless for both players. Now the point is, if you take now, he will use the h5. So you need to be patient. Black. The position is equal. Black has already attained equality. Okay, now maybe this move is suspicious. He should simply develop knight. Anyway, so a grip on center but some pawn weaknesses. It's okay. The position white is slightly better because queen's up the board. Now he wants to utilize the c5 and black will lose some time on the knight on h4. I think when there is no attack, why weaken the structure? Why weaken the structure? Now he wants to open up the b line. So white has a superior minor piece and a little better position plus equal. So opening the position normally a player should restrict. I mean it was probably King G7 is more cautious. It is maybe a stubborn defense here. Okay, white stands better. Superior minor piece. Okay, and now white takes initiative into the weaknesses. C6 and f5 into the weaknesses. Problem. Now, if you allow ND4 problem, and if you do not allow, then C6 there is a problem. All the problems started when you open up the game. Bishop is there. Don't open the position. It was better to try to have brought the king earlier. Now white stands against superior. He wants ending, but now pawn attacked and it is now plus. Now if you play other move, rook into knight. Now pawn push, now rook into knight, and then AB and rook b6, pass pawn on b5. Technically better. Knight attack, knight on attack, technically plus. So these are the problems. Even now, normally a player will not play for win such positions, but in the eye of a technician, these are very dangerous. I think I will show you now some practical end games and then take you some simple studies. All right. Now, first starting with white to play. How should white continue? With an extra pawn. Take your time. I will be right back. Now, white has got one extra pawn and better position. How should white play? Sorry, your phone player. Hello, Parth Kuntal Raval. Okay, white and black both are good. White is little better always. Yes, sir. Okay, find out. No answer yet. Please, I want to ask you, how should white play here? Take your time. 1 more minute. Yeah. So, Madhav chess, king a3. Okay, there is an answer. What about others? All do you agree? Is all agree for king a3? What do you do? There is no answer. Only one player. Please come forward. Give your answer. Only one player. Veerabhadra Singh, king a2. King a2 is correct answer. King a3, it's a draw. If you play king a3, draw. King a2, correct answer. The point is, now Veerabhadra Singh, congratulations. If you play king a3, you will play pawn push. Not king c4, pawn push. Now king, he will play push. Now king c2. Here, no advantage. I'm keeping a watch on the pawn. I'm keeping a watch on the pawn. No advantage. Now if you play b4, I will play king into c3 or pawn into pawn. No advantage. Now pawn into pawn, king into pawn, and king d2. Draw. Very good, Veerabhadra. But king a2 wins. King a2 is winning. Why? Now instead of king, here king a2. King a2. King a2 wins. Now if you play c4, king c1, and your black king is pushed all the way. Now if you come, king c2 and pawn break. Pawn break. So you have to play king. Now the break, pawn b4 wins. King into pawn, simply king into c5 wins. Pawn into c5. Now if you play any other move, suppose you play c4, Then I'm pawn into pawn, I'm faster. Three moves I queen. Now if you play other pawn, suppose you play pawn into pawn, c4 wins. No, no, if he takes, just this is winning. So b4 wins the game. And now c4. The point is, this is not good move now. Pawn c4 will come. Black is faster. So you slow down black. अभी उसको आएगा, मारेगा, दो मूव, तीन मूव, सात मूव है, 1 2 3 4 7, और ये तो फटाफट जा. Can you play a match with the chart like on the board online? We will all will vote for a move. The point is, actually, I will tell you, I was a very good blitz player. I won the Indian National Blitz Championship two times in 1979 and 80. 79 and 80, I won the official Blitz Championship two times. But I was much younger that time. 1980, I was only 25-year old. Okay, so I cannot play Blitz now. I can play rapid game. When half an hour, 1 hour game, I can play normal game. But if I Blitz, I lose mostly on time. By that time I move the mouse, my hand is not so fast now. So I don't want to play Blitz game. Okay. Maybe still I can play like a when my Blitz rating is 2350 remains. I played in light chess some games. My rating fluctuates 2350, 2370, 50, 2400 comes back. So I am not maintaining. But chess.com, I was 2550 for some time, quite a some time. But that was around 2000. When I retired from bank, I was playing. So in that time, my rating has was 2550. I think I touched in on playchess.com. Okay. So next game जाते हैं. ये तो King A2, lovely. So this lovely move was King A2. Next. 3 pawn 2 pawn. आई एम गिविंग यू 5 मिनट्स. 5 मिनट देता हूं मैं. सिंपल पोजिशन, व्हाइट टू प्ले एंड विन. फाइंड आउट. फाइंड आउट. व्हाइट टू प्ले एंड विन. Okay, 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 okay. On chessboard with a chart. That is a different thing. We can do. We can do maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Sure, tomorrow we will try. Ramakrishna, tomorrow we will try in morning session. Tomorrow morning session, we will have an half an hour game. Half an hour for me, half an hour for you. Maybe 15 minutes for me because I have to answer a lot. So 15 minutes for me and 45 minutes for the public. So that will be a lot of answers. Tomorrow, Ramakrishna, tomorrow morning we will try that. Definitely. I like the idea. Can somebody show me how White can win this game? White is a very strong GM. Today, his rating is some 27, 30, 50, 40. 27, 30, 40 or 50 like that. How should White play? Okay, Ramakrishna, we will play in the afternoon session. We will play in the afternoon session. No problem. We have a class. So afternoon session we will try. Sure. I give time. I am not pushing you to do it right away. Find out about it. How should white win the game? So there is answer by Ramakrishna, King C2. So I want more answers. Do you agree with King C2? Say yes, King C2. Then I will go ahead. Any other player? Come forward with your answer. I give you 2 more minutes. Vishal Thakkar says he agrees. King C2. So there are two players. They are ready to play King C2 to catch the pawn. Anybody else? Anybody else? Sir, you will please play with me. Yes, we will play tomorrow. Madhav chess, I will play tomorrow afternoon session because today there is no time. It is already 4 o'clock. I will have to do some studies. No time today. Tomorrow we will play in the afternoon. 2:30 or 2:35 will start. Madhav chess says C4. I doubt C4 is not good move. Anyway, so there are two answers. King C2 and C4. So what I will do tomorrow 2:30, I will start a quiz. I will put a puzzle, edit a puzzle. If you solve the puzzle, you will take white. If you fail to solve the puzzle, I will be white. It is like a toss. I will keep a puzzle so that if you solve the solution is there by you, you take white pieces. If solution you fail, I will take white pieces tomorrow. So there are two answers. King C2 and the other group says C4. Unfortunately, any other only two answers? Only two answers? Nobody is writing. Okay, I will tell you. King C2 is a bad move. It is white is winning. King C2 draw. C4 is also bad. It is because white is bad because outside pass pawn. Yes, so you will just lose the pawn. So C4 is not correct. King C2 not correct. The correct move. The correct move is King D3. The King D3 is a winning move. Okay, first let us see why King C2 is bad. This is very natural. I will tell you, tactical players will try to catch the pawn quickly. Then, once there is a pass pawn is there, and there are outside pass pawn. So this is a very natural move. It is a human move. Normally, a player will play such a move very quickly. So this is not good move because he can play now king to e5. Okay. So king c2 is what is there is something wrong here. Something is wrong. So he plays bad move. Now king e5. He comes. What else? Now if you play f3, king comes. No, you should not play here. You should play right away king to d5. Waiting for him to play d. Then he will return again. This is the point. This is the point. Now f4 I will return again. Or g4 I will play king. Now g4 king. This is draw. You come king. Take the pawn. Now c4 does not work. Suppose you play c4. I am going to take. And now I will catch the pawn. Catch the pawn. King. So c4 does not work. You have to take king into pawn. Idea you want to go king to catch. Now this is not working. A draw. Draw. King now you can't be stopped. The pawn queen. The king comes. You, all of you know that c pawn or f pawn is a draw pawn on 7th rank. So it is a draw. That means king c2 it is a draw. The correct move king e5. Now this will catch. This is a bad move. You should have played waiting move to meet f4 with king e4 or g4 with king e5. So this is a draw only. But there is a win. c4 is not good. c4 king e5. Outside pass pawn. Draw. Nothing. Now it's a draw only. Now if you push the pawn, king c4 and take b3. So you better go and I'll take draw. So c4 is a draw. The winning move is king d3. Here the correct move is here king d3. This is winning. The idea now I am very much in control of the pawn. I am very much in control of the pawn. And now 2-1. You really cannot enter this. This is the whole idea. I am restricting the king. I have no weakness. Should be winning. Now you have play. You see the whole point. If you play king, king d5 coming. Now don't play king. Don't play king. Allow the counterplay. Counterplay. So give a check. Go away from that d5 square. This. Now king has entry. King has access. No problem. No problem. Now if you take the pawn, I will push this pawn. This is winning. Winning easily. So king d3 is very interesting move. अभी वो हमारा जो मैंने पाला है ना वो पिजन मैंने पाला है पिजन को आ गया डाइनिंग टेबल खाली करो बोलता है सॉरी गिव मी 1 मिनट प्लीज गिव मी अ मिनट ओके सो ऑल राइट so this is a win this is a win now but again you see king d3 I am restricting the king and now when you play once again it is a bad move king d5 now if you play here king now if you will come you take king hard time maybe it is still winning I think okay so next one white to play and win White to play and win. This is much more easier. Much easier. Manish Khanduja F3, Madhav Chess F4, Ketul Chavan F3, Manish Khanduja making two moves. Please make one move. One, okay, your notation, okay. Restriction opponent king. Correct move. F6. Because once pawn comes, it's a draw. Once black plays the pawn push, it is just a dead draw. No entry. Simply no entry. So F6. Who is this? Manish Kanduja. Good move. Because if black is allowed to play, you play F3 or F4, you will play F6 draw. No entry for white king. You will play KC6, KD6. No entry. That is why this is winning. Now the double pawn. So you will come F6 wins. Now the point is, see, you have to come one, you have to take two, sorry, you have to take, you have to come here and take two, and then three, and four, seven, five, eight, eight moves. Black has to make eight moves to queen, and you have got one, two, three, four, five, and then six and eight. It is your move, and you will have extra pawn. That means it will be a queen ending with the F passer. You have eight moves, he has eight moves. So start journey. Now this is a queening diagonal. This is a queening diagonal. So don't go in the diagonal. Stay out. Queening. This will be error. If you go queening diagonal, one tempo draw. If you play here, it's a draw. So maybe you will lose the game. You will not draw. It is lost. If you play here, it is lost because there is a pawn on the board. So no draw. No stalemate will come. It is winning. So you have to come winning for black. If you play, it will win for black. No, no, no. He will play king. Now push, queen. Now, now queen check will win that. So I would like to go here back again because there is some error. Error. There is some error. So here f6 good move. check. Now you cannot go down. If you go to any of the square, queen check, exchange and king pawn ending. So you have to come down, only move. But this is winning position because the king is far away and there is not many checks, so he will escape. Winning. No check position. Pawn goes one more square. All right. Next. So अपना अभी some studies हो गया ना I think all over. No, two more are there. Two more studies. Two more practical games. The position is white to play. White has winning chance. What should white do? Ketul Chauhan says king c5. Yes, good move. Ketul, good move. King c5, correct. So, king c5. So, he will play pawn push. So, what should white do now? In position, the time factor is important. Who can create a pass pawn? Black का plan क्या है? When you go, black will come for the pawn. Black king will come for this pawn and try to push this. This is his plan. And white will go for this pawns, and then try to queen this pawns and try to queen one of his pawn. So, what should you do now? Very important, critical moment. You can not play very quickly. Mechanically end game, you play a mechanical quick move, you throw away the win. Correct move only correct move. In the last game, you have to play this move. Otherwise, once king will come, then no entry. Once the king comes, no entry. So you have to enter first. This is doing two jobs. I'm ready to advance, also stopping the king, watching the square. So he plays e5. What will you do? Ketul Chauhan and Madhav chess KD6. Not correct. Not correct. KD6 is bad. KD why KD6 is bad? If you play KD6, now this will come. Abhi, now if you come here, take too much time, and black king will hurry up. Black will hurry up for the pawn. By the time you take. So एक दो तीन चार मूव नहीं है आपके पास. So you lose your winning chances. KD6 is bad. So you have to play G4 now. G4. Because ये pawn कहाँ भागी जा रहा है? The idea I completely slow down. Now black's best move is to play E4. This is the best move. Other moves will be bad because white wants to sweep the pawns. So at least he will keep a target. At least एक target रखेगा. ये मारने के बाद ये pawn आएगा. That is what he wants. So this is the only move. Other moves are horrible. You play here, he will fix G5. If you play pawn G5, and this is slow. That is why good move E4. No, this is correct move. After this, in time for counterplay. Lot of fight there, but he played bad move. ये E4 खेलना चाहिए था उसको. उसको E4 खेलना चाहिए था. Bad move. अब तो गया. Now taking the pawn is useless. If you take the pawn, king will enter. No entry. Sorry, king will enter here. C5. No more entry. That is why you have to hurry up to play king. King. Now, important pawn. Don't go waste time. You have to go for the important pawn. King. King. Now, king. Take the pawn. Push. Push. You must take. And now white is winning. Because if you play king f3, you will play king f5. King f5. And if you play some king g4, you will play pawn h4. ये खेलेगा सीधा. ये लो है. No, 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 no. I think I should play here king f6. King f6. Now you come. Now h4 is winning. Any moment you play, king f5 is coming. Winning the game. So we learned lot of things from this game. This is important. First move is a good move. And now good move. Now g4 is correct. Best fighting chance. Now bad move. You should have played e4 and draw. Bad move. Excellently played. Now another good move. Good move. Winning. The only move and h4. Okay, very interesting end game. One more end game. Practical end game. Black to play. Black to play. Black pawns are coming this direction. This direction. Black to play. Sorry. So flip the board. How should black play? Madhav says e5. Do you agree? All? All are correct. King pawn e5. The best move e5, because when he takes this pawn, this is winning. Outside pass pawn. This is the point. Pawn into pawn can be met with pawn into pawn. If he takes, you are winning. And now king d5 does not work. So the correct move. The correct move. So e5 lost only. Whatever black will do, white will do, white is lost. He can take the pawn, he can take a d5. Now, for example, I will flip the board. Now, e5 wins what any cost. Pawn into pawn. Now, pawn push. Now, the whole point is, if he returns, now pawn push. Maybe I'll just give this. No, I'm showing something wrong. It is here e5, fe5. If gf6, kf6 wins. Very easy. So, he has to play fe5, fg5. King c4, winning. Is this winning? How can it win? Something is wrong here. This is drawn. It is a draw. If you press fg5, it is lost. This is lost. So if you play e5, fe5, it is a draw. It's a draw. Sorry, draw. So e5 was the correct move, and it is perfectly played. All right. So friends, thank you very much. I will be back tomorrow morning 9:30. We will play a game first. First, I will give a puzzle to decide the color. You solve the puzzle, then you will have white. If you fail to solve the puzzle, I will have white. And it will be half an hour game. I will have chess clock. मेरे पास चेस क्लॉक है मैं लगा देगा 45 minutes to 15 minutes. 45 minutes 15 because I will have more time than you. I have to talk, discuss. I will have more time. So tomorrow morning, see you 9:30. तब तक सबको मेरा नमस्कार. Take care. Bye.